June 10, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. The volume and volatility today was pretty low, similar to yesterday, a little bit more than yesterday, but there wasn't that many setups I could find. It was unfortunate because there was these big legs down, up, another break, kind of like a spike in a small channel here, another big leg down, another big one up. And unfortunately, with these moves, the second entry never did quite set up just right. I did mark like these black arrows, which were almost setups, and they all failed for one reason or another. Mainly like the signal bars or inside bars, or the trade setup just didn't just was it fell short. I did manage to take one trade today, and unfortunately, it was a loser, but it looked like a good trade at the time. And I'm wondering if the trade was reasonable, like kind of decent, good, except that it just happened to fail. So I'm going to get to it. Also, there was no economic data that came out to really move the market, so it was a very slow, very meandering day. So in the pre-market, I'm not really sure what happened here, but this is in the early AM. Well, actually, this is yesterday night, actually. I think this might have been China trade tariff talks. Like there's I think news coming out that things are progressing well, whatever that means. And so I think the market liked that, but I'm not trading in this grades region. I only trade the regular hours. So it spiked up, sold off, took a bounce, tested low, pushed up in this green up channel. It was like a second entry here, but this isn't a good signal bar, and it kind of pushes out into the open. So right at the open, you already had a first entry, barely. You can see visual first, second, but this is an inside bar, and you're going to see quite a few of these inside bars. Well, I found quite a few of these inside bars that kind of negated the possibility of a good trade. So it starts moving up. It looked like it was first in this trading range. It was sideways action. It created a new low as a first entry short pullback. It created a second entry short. The second entry short, I thought this is actually a possible trade. The thing was, prices were making higher highs and higher lows. So I'm a little hesitant to go short into it. And this could have been a failed breakout because initially I was trading a range, something like this, treated as a failed breakout. It broke out a second time. That's when I dragged it up to here. Then it broke out a third time. So I thought this might have been a failed breakout, possible second entry short. The, oh, didn't mean to move that one. I'm gonna get this guy. It's a decent signal bar. Actually, the signal bar is this green one. It's a good follow through bar, and you do have enough room to the EMA, but I wanted a lower high ideally, and you don't get that. But if you're a little more aggressive, maybe there's a trade there. Then it kind of looks like it was moving up this yellow up channel that I found. Fit somewhat well. This is one thing that I was wondering about. This one here was like a localized new low. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short, and then a second entry short failure right here, but it's also a new high. It's a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Maybe the second entry long failed, but it could also be seen as a higher low. Unfortunately, this candle is red, so it gave me a little bit of pause. The follow through when it printed and closed, it kind of ran into the high of this possible range that I was thinking we were in, so I had to leave it alone. And then it started moving up nicely on this interior blue up channel. I found this potential setup makes a double top here, but it looks like a visual first entry, pullback, potential second entry. Unfortunately, it made a triple top here, so I reset the count and counted this actually as a first entry, but I wasn't sure if the strength of this blue up channel support is good enough to claim a trade. Plus, I was thinking I was inside this potential overlapping purple trading range. So that gave me conflicting ideas, made me worried that this was going to be a really strong support going in, even though clearly the bias is kind of bullish. But even the bullish bias was very shallow. So decided just to leave it alone. Prices continue moving up. Hits the other side of this yellow up channel that I'm playing in now because I'm thinking it was a spike, push up, and then it was a gradual yellow up channel. I'm not the biggest fan of this yellow up channel, but it was the best thing I could find. Create a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long, pushes out of this blue. And I'm thinking at the time, it's going to come back down, test the bottom of this yellow, and potentially see a bounce. So it's actually right here because I started a touch here, touch, touch, and I was thinking it's going to come back down to this other side. It almost bounces, it comes back up. And this is actually where I take my one and only trade, and unfortunately is a loser. So this is what I was thinking at the time. I'm thinking this yellow up channel is in play. It's reacting, prices are reacting to it pretty nicely. I counted this as a count reset. Technically, you have a first entry, second entry, so you could reset the count here, which is fine. But I would have, even if it didn't do the clean second entries, I would have considered this the localized new high. Saw a visual first entry, pullback, second entry, bounce off this yellow up channel, bounce off a potential double test here. It created a higher low here. So it created a first entry, second entry, higher low. I like the signal bar close. I thought there was enough room to the high side. And in itself, it's a technical first entry, second entry long. So I actually dropped my order in one tick above. So the close is at 60.27. I dropped it at 60.27.25, hoping to get a quick 1 point bounce. Pushes up. So it's 67, 60, 27, 25. It only goes up 3 ticks. So my exit is up here waiting. My stop is actually below this guy. And as you can see, it stops me out, pushes back up, and this candle would have gotten me the scalp. So when I look back at this is kind of a learning moment. I put my stop below this guy when my entry signal bar was also this guy. And that isn't the best way to go, because in order to have a correctly placed stop, I think I should have put it below this guy. But that would introduce a lot more risk than I wanted. And so I only lost out from 67.25 down to 60, 24.75. So I lost about 3 points when I should have pushed it all the way down here because there's clearly some kind of support here, but I chickened out, didn't manage the stop properly, and as a result, lost in this trade, which could have been a winning trade. So at the time, I thought the setup was good enough because it looked like it was bouncing off here, bouncing off this yellow, everything going for it, good signal bar. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to stop correctly. And as you can see, it moved one tick below, took out my trade right here. This is me. If anybody saw this push all the way down here, that was me getting stopped out and got reversed. So in hindsight, it could have been a winning trade. I should have done the rule was, to keep it below the obvious swing low, which is right here, and not on this one. So unfortunately, I didn't. I took a loss and just kind of sat now. Then prices continue moving down, bounces. So this red up channel doesn't exist yet. There's no clean second entries. There's a new high, first entry. Technically, I have a second entry right here, but then it creates a lower low here. So now I don't really have any setup. It's a new low. It's a first entry short. Pull back. You don't really get a second entry short till about here by the technical count, because it looks like a first entry, and you don't have a break below until you get all the way up here. So no trade there. Pushes up, hits the sideways consolidation. So first entry long, second entry long, pull back. I saw this at the time. I was thinking, is there a potential triple test? Yes, but except the problem is this is an inside bar. It's very tiny. It didn't really bounce off the EMA yet, so there's still possibility of the prices moving down. This is a potential range, but this isn't a good enough setup, so I left it alone. Looks like it would have worked though. So the break of this orange, tested the new high, and it looks like it's moving up this nice orderly red up channel. Just kind of broke out, test the high again. So when it hit here, I actually found this trend line first and turn it into a channel down here. But you only have one touch, two touch confirmation. You need a third one. But on the high side, you have something pretty good because it has all these good touch confirmations. So this is a pretty reliable resistance, except there's like a lot of clear space here. It's a little ambiguous here, a lot of clear space here. So I'm not the biggest fan of this red up channel, so I never colored it in. So I'm just kind of watching and waiting. Prices move down. So you have a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry. I was hoping for a second entry long here, but it never broke above, so I abandoned the idea of a trade. Plus, this is counter trend. Counter trend to this current localized green sell-off, but overall bias seems to be up. But since it never broke above, even though this is a potentially good signal bar, you have to leave it alone. Pushes up, pushes back down, starts moving down this green down channel, has a huge breakout, creates one leg up, pull back, creates a second leg up. I was hoping for a better setup here, but again, this is a first entry short, second entry short. The signal bar is an inside bar to this, never touches the EMA, didn't touch the resistance side of this green down channel. Saw it in real time, was wondering about it. Saw this, got a little bit of FOMO, but by then the trade has already moved, so nothing to really dwell on. Prices then continue moving. It looks like it's moving up this support line. So I had this drawn as a trend line support initially. It looked like it was some kind of resistance here. And I actually turned it into a channel early on, something like this. So it's pushing up. I'm watching for a potential touch up here. It hits it, breaks through, and then it keeps going. So it looked like it was a weird spike and a really sharp aggressive channel up here. There's a first entry long pullback. You technically have a second entry long here. Forgot I should change this. Makes it easier to see. And this is just kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere. And unfortunately, there's no trade there. Pushes up, comes back down, breaks below the EMA. Looks like it's two legs, but this yellow up channel was a trend line support, and it had a good trend line support. Nice bounce. I'm looking for a higher low. I'm looking for the next two candles after this guy to pull back, bounce off the EMA. Then I would really be considering taking a long. And unfortunately, you don't get that. It just kind of keeps going. Then prices continue moving down. I found this down channel. I found this a possible second entry short, but it's already too late in the day. It's a new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short, resistance bounce off the orange down channel, decent signal bar. Unfortunately, it's too late in the day. I would rather have also had it touch the EMA, but I was thinking maybe there's a trade here. But as you can see, it's debatable whether you could have gotten out clean or you would likely have gotten stopped out right here. Then prices just kind of move. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. Things got out of whack. Did a crazy zoom age. Yeah, so this is the trade I was talking about, and then it just kind of bounced, moved into the close in the last, this is only 10 minutes and there's so much crazy price action. So overall, kind of a, unfortunately, there was no trade to ride these up in a safe way. The one trade I did take, I thought was a reasonably good setup until I got bit. And unfortunately, yeah, kind of ending the day in a loss. Hopefully the next couple of days things pick up a little bit because these slow trading days with low volume are kind of hard to trade and keep your patience because I do find myself getting lured into looking at and trying to invent setups off of bad, I guess, chart context. So hopefully that was helpful.